Okay, good afternoon, friends. Let's start for the new topic today, and that is nothing but your multiple access control. Okay, so now let's start. Now, when nodes or stations, okay, different nodes and stations are connected, okay, and use a common link, okay, they are going to use a common link. We can call it as a multi-point. Am I right? Otherwise, broadcast point link. Okay, so if when we are going to, we need a multiple access control, we need some mechanism, okay, to coordinate access to the link, right? If there are multiple systems are attached to your one communication medium, it might possible that one or more systems want to start the communication, sending the frames at a time, right? So there has to be some mechanism so that any one system can get the chance, okay, to use that particular communication medium. Okay, so these are nothing but some type of procedures, okay, that guarantee that the right to speak is upheld, right? And ensure that in conference or in some assembly there must not be two persons who are going to talk at the same time. Am I right? Okay, so there are some protocols we are going to use when we are speaking in assembly, otherwise in some conference, right? If some another person is going to start his speech, we have to stop, right? These are the protocols we are having, we are going to follow in normal life. So same way in communication also, if there is a one communication medium which shared between multiple systems, okay, so there has to be some way, okay, there has to be some way to give fair chance for all the systems. Okay, we have to give the fair chance for all the systems to start their communication and to complete their communication. Okay, and for that purpose, this another sub layer of data link layer, okay, that is nothing but your multiple access control. Okay, this one layer, it is having this one sub layer, it is having that duty to resolve that multiple access. I hope it is clear to you why we have to use this multiple access separately. Okay, two sub layers we have seen, okay, for data link layer, data link control and multiple access. Data link control we have completed. Okay, so now we have to go for the multiple access. Okay, now multiple access, there are multiple protocols they have come up with. Okay, so these protocols, if we have seen, they have broadly defined by these three ways. Okay, random access protocols, controlled access protocols, and channelization protocols. Normally these random access protocols we are going to use in LAN and WAN. Okay, controlled access protocols we are going to use in LAN, okay, mostly, but some of these protocols we are not going to use. Okay, and the channelization protocols, most of the time we are going to use it for cellular telephone. Okay, so in our syllabus they have focused only on this random access protocols. Okay, so we are going to see in next sessions these four protocols related to random access protocol. Okay, so now let's see. Now, what do you mean by random access? Okay, random access protocols also we are going to call it as a contention. Okay, these methods, they are having no station is superior to another station. Okay, means there is no any primary or secondary or nothing like that. Okay, no station is superior than another. Okay, every station is having the equal priority. Okay, none is assigned a control over another. Okay, no station permits or does not permit another station to send. If any particular system is having some data to send, it can send. Okay, it can send. Okay, there is no scheduled time for a station to transmit the data. Okay, and that's why they have given the name random access. Am I right? Okay. At the same time, again, what the second rule is there, that station should, all stations are compete with one another to access the medium. Okay. All stations are compete with one another to access the medium. Okay. And that is why they are going to call it as a contention methods also. I hope it is clear to you. What do you mean by random access? Okay. At one instance, if any station is having some data to send, it can start sending. Okay. There is no specific time period for the station to send and send data. Okay. It can randomly send. Okay. And that's why the name given random access. okay, and there are no any specific rules are there, okay, that which station should send next and like that, okay. So that's why it's a contention method. Every system it is competing with one another, okay, and that's why it's a contention method. I hope it is clear to you. Okay, what do you mean by random access? Okay, now based on these features, there are four protocols they have come up with. Okay, Aloha, carrier sense multiple access. Okay, carrier sense multiple access with C collision detection. Okay, this carrier sense multiple access, we are going to call it as a CSMA also. I hope you might have learned or you might have heard these words. Okay, CSMA, CSMA CD, CSMA CA. Okay, so carrier sense multiple access with collision avoidance. Okay, so this is nothing but your random access. Okay, so let's see one by one. Okay, now first initially we have to go for Aloha system. Okay, now this Aloha, it is one of the earliest, very earliest random access method is there. Okay, which is developed in 1970, and it was designed for a radio LAN. Okay, it's for wireless radio LAN. Okay, but it can be used on any shared medium. It's not like that it is only used for radio. Okay, we can use it for any shared medium. Okay, so now what exactly this Aloha system do? Okay, so here the medium is shared between the stations. Okay, now you can see here there are multiple stations, four stations are there. Okay, and communication medium is shared here. Okay, communication medium is shared between these stations. Okay, and when a station sends data, another station may attempt to do the same at the time. Okay, so the data from the two stations collide and become garbled. Okay, just a minute. Right, so Aloha system is not having any rule. Okay, whenever any station is having some data, okay, it is going to start sending, right? So if you can see here, all these stations are having two frames to send. Okay, but what happens, since it is a shared medium, okay, it's a shared medium between all these four stations. Okay, so some of the frames are going to collide. Okay, and these frames are going to either destroyed, otherwise modified. Okay, so you can see into this scenario, only two frames are going to reach to the receiver side properly. Okay, this is the frame 1.1 from station 1, and this frame 3.2 from station 3. These two frames are going to received by the receiver side properly in correct way. Okay, what are the other frames are there? Here collision has detected, because station 1 ने अपने whenever it has given the frame 1.2, at that same time station 2 has ready with his own data, and it has sent that frame, right? So at that, after some time again you can see station 3 is having data. After that time station 4 is already having that data. So these frames are collided with each other. Okay, same situations happen here also. This is the collision duration. Okay, and because of that these frames are modified. Even though one of the bit of this frame, if it coexists with another frame, okay, that frame is going to, these both the frames are going to completely destroyed. Okay, are you getting what I'm saying? Even though the one bit of this frame, okay, it is coexisted with the another frame on the communication medium, right? Then and then only these both frames are going to be destroyed, okay, or corrupted. Okay, so this is something what happens in your Aloha system. Okay, it's a Aloha system. Okay, where no such any specific rule is there. Okay, if any station is having data, it is going to send it directly. Okay, but because of that, what happens, collision is going to happen there. Okay, now pure Aloha, this protocol, it relies on acknowledgement from the receiver. Okay, when a station sends a frame, it expects the receiver to send an acknowledgement. Okay, if the acknowledgement does not arrive after a timeout period, the station assumes that the frame has been destroyed and it is going to resend the frame, right? This is the same thing we have already seen previously. Okay, so Aloha system, it totally depends on your acknowledgement frame. Okay, and acknowledgement frame, for that purpose it is going to start a timer. Okay, it is going to wait for that particular time period. If the frame has not arrived, acknowledgement frame, it understood that, it assumes that something has happened with the frame, so it has to reset. and it start resending again. Okay, so uh, there are multiple situations here, okay, for collision. So now what happens if all the station trying to resend their frames, okay, after the timeout, the frame will collide again. I hope you are getting, student, right? Timeout has occurred, okay, and it has again started reframing, resending the frame. What happens? अगेन अनदर स्टेशन का ये फ्रेम जो है ये भी आपका उसका वही टाइम आउट हो गया. ओके, नो एक्नॉलेजमेंट हैज रिसीव्ड, सो अगेन इट हैज स्टार्टेड सेंडिंग द फ्रेम अगेन. So again collision is going to occur. Am I right? Okay, so pure aloha, it dictates that when timeout period process passes, okay, each station waits a random amount of time, okay, before resending its frame, right? So for that purpose, what the solution these people have given, okay, if the particular station want to resend the frame, okay, it has to wait for some random amount of time. Okay, it might possible कि station 1 का जो है it is going to wait for 1 millisecond. Okay, station 3 जो है it is going to wait for something 7 millisecond. Are you getting what I'm saying? If that waiting time period is random, it might possible that what are the corruption or what is the collision is there, it is somewhat going to be reduced. Okay, I'm not saying that it is completely going to reduce, but it is somewhat going to be reduced because of this randomness. Okay, and this randomness we are going to call it as a back of time. Okay, this random time we are going to call it as a back of time. Are you getting what I'm saying? Okay, this is the one technique they are utilizing in Aloha system. Okay, then again one thing, it has again given one another solution, second method to prevent congestion. Okay, that it might possible कि one station it is continuously retrying. Okay, it is continuously resending the frames again and again, that collision is happening, timer expire, it is again sending. Okay, again, so these things it is going to do it for multiple times. Okay, and because of that it might possible that bandwidth it is going to waste. Okay, to avoid these things, what we can do, we can put some restriction on number of attempts. Okay, we can put some restrictions on number of attempts. Okay, after that number of attempts have completed, that station has to keep idle. Okay, that station has to sit idle for some more number of means for some larger number of time period. Okay, and then after that it has to restart. Are you getting what I'm saying? Okay, there are some retransmission attempts, maximum number of retransmission attempts we have to give there. Are you getting, student? If the collision is happening, okay, if the collision is happening, then how can we avoid such situations? So in Aloha they have come up with two solutions. Okay, I will show you that algorithm here, procedure for pure Aloha. Okay, now a station has a frame to send, right? So initially k is equals to 0. K is nothing but what? Number of attempts. Okay, I have given some Aloha is giving some time limit, sorry, number of attempts limit, that one station can do the transmission of the same frame for some particular number of time only. Okay, so initially that value k value it is 0. Okay, so it is going to send a frame, right? Then after that it has to wait timeout time. Okay, and this timeout time is nothing but your twice of your maximum propagation time. Okay, what do you mean by maximum propagation time? Propagation round trip propagation delay, it is nothing but your twice the amount of time required to send the frame between the two most widely separated station, right? There are two stations, okay, which are most widely separated from each other, right? Means one system, last system of this end and last system of another end, right? These are the two systems which are widely separated from each other, right? So what are the time period it is required to go from one system to that last system, okay, and again come back. So this is the round trip propagation delay. Okay, this TP is nothing but what? It's a maximum propagation time. I hope you are getting this. Do you understand? Okay, this is the wait time out. Okay, so this is the maximum propagation time, and your waiting time, it has to be twice multiplied by TP. Okay, so after sending the frame, that station has to wait for this particular time period. बराबर ना, because that much of time it needs to come back your acknowledgement frame, right? Okay, so for that particular time period it is going to wait for. Okay, if the acknowledgement received, yes, then it is successful. If the acknowledgement has not received, okay, then it has to update the counter. K is equals to K plus 1. Okay, if K is greater than max, okay, normally K max is 15, okay, otherwise 10. Okay, so if K is greater than K max, yes, then it has to abort. This station has to abort. Okay, because it has already completed its maximum attempt. Okay, so it has to abort. Okay, but if it is having more chances, okay, it has to choose a random number R between 0 and 2 raised to K minus 1. Are you getting what I'm saying? It has to choose a random number R between 0 and 2 raised to K minus 1. Okay, and this random value R multiply by this TP, okay, it will become the waiting time, TB. That is nothing but your back of time. Okay, it is nothing but your waiting time. Okay, so TFR is nothing but your average transmission time for a frame, otherwise maximum propagation time. These are the same thing. Okay, so based on this you have to, and this random value, you have to calculate this back of time. Okay, it has to wait for that particular back of time, and then it has to send the frame. Why these things we have to do? So that it might possible that some other station has completed their time period, okay, and they are going to send a frame. Okay, so let them to send a, let that other station to send a frame. Okay, till that time this system has to wait. I hope this algorithm clear to everyone. Okay, this is the procedure for pure Aloha protocol. Is there any doubt, students? Do you understand this protocol? Hello? I think I am audible to everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, surely you are getting this. Okay. What is the, which are the two things? Okay, main two things are number of attempts. Okay, K is nothing but a number of attempts. Means that station has to resend the frame. It can resend the frame only for that particular K max value only. Okay, only that number of times only it can resend the frame. After that it has to abort. Okay, and if it is having some number of attempts to complete, then it has to wait for some time period. Okay, and it totally depends on this particular random value R. Okay, so let's see one how this going to happen. Okay, there are some numerical students, just give attention. Okay, now, just give attention here that there is a one station, okay, on the wireless Aloha network, okay, and it is having uh, maximum of 600 kilometer apart. Okay, distance kitna hai between these two stations? Okay, maximum it's a 600 kilometer apart. Okay, and if we assume that a signal propagates at 3 multiplied by 10 raised to 8 meter per second, right? Okay, so what must be the your propagation time? You can calculate this. You are having distance, right? You are having speed, am I right? So you, based on that you can calculate the time. Time is nothing but your distance upon speed. Am I right, student? Yes. तो आपका distance कितना है? 600 किलोमीटर. So 600 multiplied by 10 raised to 5 divided by uh, speed. It is 3 into 10 raised to 3. So it is 2 milliseconds, right? So now we can find the value of back of time. I hope these terms are clear to you. TP is nothing but your propagation time. Okay, propagation time is nothing but your this one. Waiting time you are going to calculate after sending the frame. You are going to calculate the waiting time based on this TP. Okay, it must be twice of this propagation time. Okay, and then after that you want to calculate the back of time, TB. Okay, so now for this TB, it depends on the value of K. Okay, it depends on the value of K. Okay, so suppose you have to, because you have to find out the random value based on this k. आपका जो random value r है, okay, it must be between 0 and 2 raised to k minus 1, right? So if k is equals to 1, the range is k का value क्या रहेगा, 0 and 1 only. Okay, so the station needs to generate a random number with a value either 0 or 1. Okay, so this means tb is either 0, means 0 multiplied by 2, or 1 multiplied by 2. Am I right? 0 multiplied by 2, if it is there, it's a 0 milliseconds, right? And if 1 multiplied by 2, it's a 2 milliseconds, right? Means 2 milliseconds. If k value is 1, here if k value is 1, okay, it is going to wait for 2 milliseconds. I hope it is clear to you. Okay, then next thing, for k equals to 2, okay, for k equals to 2, the range is nothing but your 0 1 2 3. Okay, so what are the transmit back of time is there, so it is nothing but your 0 multiplied by 2, 1 multiplied by 2, 2 multiplied by 2, 3 multiplied by 2, that is 0, 2, 4 or 6 millisecond based on the outcome of the random variable. Here you can see, if k value, if it is 2, right, 2 agar hai, so it can be any one of the value, 0 random value. Okay, so random value between 0 and 2 raised to k minus 1, so it might be anything. So 0 1 2 3, so from that any value it must be there. Okay, so if k equals to 3, it is having these random values. Okay, so these ranges, and based on that it is having this back of time. Okay, so here we can assume that k, we need to mention that if k is greater than 10, it is automatically set to 10. Okay, most of the time we are going to consider this value as a 10. Okay, so this is nothing but your pure aloha system. I hope this algorithm, it is clear to everyone. Okay, I hope this algorithm is clear to you. If you are having any doubt, you can ask me. Okay, the main two parameters are nothing but your wait time out. Okay, which is twice of your propagation time. Okay, propagation time, it is totally depend on what, distance and speed, right? Then if you know the distance, if you know the speed, you can calculate the propagation time. Okay, another term is nothing but your k, that you can increase, right? And based on this k, this back of time. Okay, why this back of time we have to use? So that before resending, this station has to wait for some particular random time. Okay, so these are the two things they have so given the solution here for to avoid collision. Okay, now if we have seen vulnerable time for pure aloha. Okay, so now suppose you consider here, now at time t, okay, b, Miss A has started sending the frame. Okay, at time t, A has started sending the frame. Okay, and in this system you consider, suppose that all the frames are having same size. Okay, before t minus tfr, before t minus tfr, okay, this is ftfr is nothing but your average frame transmission time. Okay, before t minus tfr, station b has already sent some frame, station b has already given some frame. Okay, and now at time t it has already come up here. Okay, and after some time, okay, but before t plus tfr, okay, this station c has given frame. Okay, so if such situation happens at time t, okay, both a and b are going to collide. Okay, at here this frame can collide. Okay, so this total vulnerable time, if you have seen here, it's a twice of tfr, it's a twice of tfr. Okay, फ्रेम ट्रांसमिशन टाइम जो है उसका जो ट्वाइस है, दिस इज नथिंग बट योर वल्नरेबल टाइम. Okay, means what it means for pure aloha, this is for pure aloha, what it means, if station, if any at time t, if station a has sent a frame, okay, some another station, it might be c, it doesn't have to send a frame until this twice tfr. Okay, इसके बाद ट्वाइस TFR जब तक कंप्लीट नहीं होता उसके बाद उसने सेंड करना चाहिए, देन एंड देन ओनली इट कैन नॉट बी कोलाइड. Are you getting this? This is the vulnerable time for pure Aloha protocol. Okay, remember this thing. Now we have to see some of the examples here. Okay, students, are you having any doubt up to this? Students, are you getting this thing? Aloha system समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so shall I continue for the example? If you are having any doubt, we will solve afterward. Fine.
Yes.
Okay, so let's see one example. Okay, on pure Aloha. Okay, now just give here a pure Aloha network. Okay, it transmit 200 bit frames. Okay, it transmit 200 bit frames. Okay, on a shared channel of 200 kbps. Okay, bandwidth उसका कितना है? 200 kbps. It's a speed, right? 200 kbps क्या हुआ? उसका speed हुआ ना, right? So what is the requirement to make this frame collision free? Right? So now calculate the transmission time, frame transmission time. Okay, तो आपका कितना है? It's a 200 bit divided by 200 kbps, right? Okay, it is nothing but a distance. Okay, 200 bits, 200 bit frame, बराबर. एक फ्रेम के लिए आपको करना है ना, that this one frame should be collision free. Okay, what is the requirement? Okay, so for that purpose we have considered this 200 bit frame only. Okay, so 200 bits divided by 200 kbps. Okay, so it is nothing but your 1 milliseconds. Okay, it is coming transmission average frame transmission time आपका कितना आ रहा है? TFR, it's a 1 milliseconds. Okay, the vulnerable time as by this way. Okay, whatever we have seen, vulnerable time here is twice of TFR. Okay, so vulnerable time for this is nothing but your 2 milliseconds, right? This means that no station should send later than 1 millisecond before this station start transmission, and no station should start sending during the 1 millisecond period that this station is sending. Do you understand this, student? Okay, what is the requirement? If you want that this ये one particular bit frame जो है, if you want that this particular frame has to be received by the receiver side properly without corruption and without drop. Okay, then in that situation, in this particular time period, okay, before whenever it has transmitted, okay, sending, whenever it has start sending the frame, okay, after that, after 1 millisecond, no other station has to start transmission, right? Okay, and no station should start sending during that 1 millisecond period also. Are you getting? Then and then only this frame will go to the receiver side properly. Okay, so what is the throughput? Okay, what is the throughput for pure Aloha? Now this is the equation for that. Now how this equation has come up? For that purpose they have done some research, right? And based on that they have come up this throughput equation. Okay, so now you just understand what are the terms of this throughput equation. Okay, for pure Aloha. So throughput is indicated by this S. Okay, G is nothing but your load on your system. Okay, G multiplied by e raised to minus 2G. Why it's a minus 2G? Because we are having the vulnerable time twice of TFR. So that's why throughput here is minus 2G. Okay, so if you have calculated, okay, the maximum throughput, it is nothing but your 0.184 when G is equals to 1 by 2. When G is equals to 1 by 2, then that time you are getting the maximum throughput as 0.184. Remember this, student. Okay, remember this. Many times they are going to ask this for MCQs. Okay, so this is the throughput for pure Aloha. Remember this particular equation for pure Aloha. S is equals to G multiplied by e raised to minus 2G. G is nothing but your load on your system. Okay, it's a load on your system. Okay, now we will see one example for this. Okay, a pure Aloha network, okay, it transmits at 200 bit frames, okay, on a shared channel of 200 kbps. Same example, okay, previously. So what is the throughput? Okay, what is the throughput if the system produces 1000 frames per second, 500 frames per second, and 250 frames per second. I hope you are getting this. Okay, 200 bit frames है, 200 bit का एक frame है, right? Okay, and it is having a bandwidth means capacity of 200 kilobits per second it can send. Okay, so what must be the throughput if the system has generated 1000 frames? Right, 1000 frames means 1000 multiplied by 200 means that much of frames it has sending, right, like that. Then in 500 frames and in 250 frames. Okay, now here we are not if you calculate the throughput, you must be aware of this load g factor. Okay, so now how to calculate that g? So for that purpose, now if the system initially transmission frame transmission time, okay, that we have already calculated, it is 1 millisecond in by previous example. Yes, it's a 1 millisecond. Okay, now 1 millisecond, what means it indicates? It indicates that if the system creates 1000 frames, now take the first example. If the system creates 1000 frames per second, okay, it means 1 frame per millisecond, right? 1 frame per millisecond it is sending, and it means the load is nothing but your 1 here. I hope you are getting, student. 1 millisecond. Okay, if your frame transmission time is 1 millisecond, then if you are going to generate the 1000 frames in the system per second, means 1 frame per millisecond you are going to generate, you are going to send. Okay, so naturally the load here is 1, load here is 1. So in this case, if you have calculated 1 multiplied by e raised to minus 2, you will get the value of 0.135. Okay, and something 13.5%. Okay, what this means? This is the throughput you have, this is the value you have calculated, but what it means? It means that if 1000 frames you are sending, okay, with 0.135 means 135 frames only will be received by the receiver correctly from the 1000 frames. Are you getting this? Okay, 1000 multiplied by your throughput 0.135. Okay, so it will become 135 frames, means from the 1000 only 135 frames will be received by the receiver properly. Okay, so this is the one example. Same way, check for 500 frames. Okay, now if the 500 frames you are sending per second, means it is having 1 by 2 frames per millisecond. I hope you are getting this. Okay, 1000 frames यहाँ पे हम जब when we are going to send, we have generated that time. Okay, 1 frame per millisecond जा रहा है, 1 frame per millisecond it is. So if you are going to send the 500 frames, generate the 500 frames, then that time load will be 1 by 2. Okay, so calculate your s value. So s is nothing but your 0.5 multiplied by e raised to 1 minus 2 multiplied by 1 by 2, so it will become minus 1, right? So calculate this value, it will become 0.184. Okay, so 0.184 multiplied by 500, you are getting 92. Okay, means out of 500 only 92 frames will be survive. Okay, yes, so this is the maximum throughput case, percent wise. Okay, percent wise we are saying. Okay, next 250 frames. If 250 frames are there, the load is naturally 1 by 4. Okay, the load is naturally 1 by 4. Okay, put that value, g value 1 by 4. Okay, 0.25 multiplied by e raised to minus 2 multiplied by 0.25. Okay, you will calculate that value, it will become 0.152. Okay, 250 multiplied by 0.152, it will become 38. So only from 250, 38 will be survived at the receiver side.